ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Beyond the Glass, or One Drink with Casey Wallin. This is Casey Wallin. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Put your hands together for the man, the myth, the legend, and the fashionista? What's the word for that?
I don't know what they call it. It's homeless chic, I believe is the word we're looking for.
Homeless chic. Casey, thanks for joining us today, man. I really appreciate it.
Of course.
So where are you calling in from tonight?
Phoenix, Arizona.
And this is your home bar in Phoenix, Arizona?
It is. This is where I'm trying to make magic happen. Similar to you, I think.
Yeah. This 6 months ago, this was a concrete room.
But you do actual magic, so you got one step up on me.
I do a little bit of magic as well. Yeah. Just one of the tools that I use behind the bar to keep my guests and customers paying attention. You know, just to give them a shake up. So tell me a little bit about where did you cut your teeth bartending, or where are you now? You're working as a mixologist, and you're getting hired out for special events and a lot of corporate work as well, right?
Yeah, right now I'm doing in terms of where I'm getting paychecks from or getting money from. I just have a consulting company.
Right.
So I do consulting for some different companies and work with their national accounts teams, and then work with, I did a hotel project in the Poconos and so it's sort of more just case by case basis. And then I'm also going to be working for a company called Six Dots app. That's this new platform. It's going to be great
Cool.
for helping bars get themselves out there, and for some of the bars. So, but the main thing I'm working on is doing a YouTube channel like you, and that's where I'm focusing most of my energy to try to get that off the ground. And it's a lot of work, but I got a lot of passion, and it's a lot of fun.
Right. It's wow. We're just shaking our head every week. There's just something different that we didn't expect, we couldn't see coming, and it changed the game for us every single week. So we're trying to get 1% better every day, right?
And I'm like about a half.
I did want to point out, while I've got you, is for those of you that know that I work for ABM, American Beverage Marketers, Finest Call, Real, Master of Mixes, and Agave Lima, Casey is my new counterpart in Arizona. If my projects get uploaded or they're too backlogged or whatever, or Casey's just a better fit for the project, this is the man that my team turns to. So officially welcome aboard, Casey. I haven't really chatted with you much.
Thank you, my friend. I love American Beverage. It's the best thing about you people is actually you people. You're the best part. I mean, the product's amazing and it's a great company, but it really is a family, and really happy to be a part of it for sure.
Yeah, they're so fabulous. Everybody is just so, well, like you said, so family, and they've taken care of us. There has not been a stop in anything over the last 8 months and everything else. So, and we're trying to support the bar industry as much as we can too. So yeah, I'm super happy that I now have someone that I can push a project to if I need to, or not be able to get to one. Yeah, bring it. So we need to make a drink. Yeah, we need to make a drink. Oh, wait, before we make a drink, I don't think I'm dressed well enough for the day with your fancy shirt and all that stuff. So I thought I'd go.
I can't wait to see what's about to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to bring on a little Magnum PI for you today.
Look, we're both wearing flowers. You got guns. I don't have them, so I kept them in my shirt.
I don't know if those are guns anymore. There was a day when those are guns, and then I met Allison, and I thought, I don't need this shit anymore. Got my beautiful girlfriend.
Well, no, you should. You're lucky to have Allison, so you should probably keep it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. I do probably need to do a push-up or something.
A single, just one single.
Yeah. I used to say that I do a sit-up every morning when I get out of bed, and that's my exercise routine.
That's fair.
But nowadays I kind of swing my legs around, so I've got momentum, and I don't actually have to use any muscles.
Yeah, I just roll directly out onto the floor.
Right. Ugh, pick yourself up. So, Casey, let's make a drink, man. You've got a fabulous drink planned for us today, and I'd love to see what you got ready for us.
You want me to just go for it?
Yeah, just go for
tell
it.
you
Walk
what I'm
me
doing?
through it.
What are we doing
This
here?
is the Mezcal cocktail, correct?
Correct. This is a Mezcal cocktail. So I'm going to be using this Mezcal right here. This Mezcal is called Naran. Comes from a company called Mezcal Cráneo. This is sort of their cocktail-friendly price point, and also it's similar to Del Maguey. Both are Espadín, which is the varietal of agave used for this specific Mezcal. And these guys actually, it's sort of they're some good friends, the importers, and also Ivan Carano, his family makes this Mezcal, and then they bring it in, and the importers are from Arizona. So this is actually a brand born in Mexico, obviously, because it's Mezcal, but the guys that brought this to life are from Arizona. So it's I got some love for these guys. So I'll
while I've got you,
this.
Being the Mezcal expert, can you give anybody who's watching who is looking at going, tequila, Mezcal, what's the difference? Why is there a difference? What? Can you give me the Cole's notes so as I, as a bartender, have the 2 or 3 things that I need to say to sound knowledgeable to a guest at the bar that's asking that question?
Yeah, sure. I mean, firstly, I would say that the only similarity between Mezcal and tequila is the fact that they're both agave spirits.
Okay.
But when it comes to Mexican spirit, they're both from a varietal of agave plants. In fact, I think the easiest way to think about Mezcal is more to think about wine and thinking about the different varietals of wine. So if we're talking about a Cabernet, a Malbec, Sangiovese, Pinot Noir, everybody can easily understand that those are different varietals of wine. Right. So they're all red wine, right?
Yeah.
Right? So they're all red wine, but they're all falling within a different varietal category. So when it comes to Mezcal, they're more akin to wine than they would be to tequila, because tequila comes from one varietal, and it's cooked in a steam oven. And so the agave is steamed by using more modern technology. So they actually pump steam in to cook the agave, or they use an autoclave. And with Mezcal production,
to soften up the pulp to get the sugars and the flavors out.
Exactly. So they heat the agave plant, then crush it, and that's how they do it. So the smoke that actually comes from Mezcal is a byproduct of production. So they're not smoking the agave plant to get the smoky flavor profile. Where the smoky flavor profile is coming from is actually from the cooking of the rocks. So when they cook the rocks, there's a residue left on there. Like if you stand next to a campfire, you smell like smoke, right? So because they're cooking these rocks with wood to get them hot, so you have hot coals to cook the agave, the rock itself is what's carrying that smoky characteristic. And then when they put all that on top and cover it up and cook it, the flavor profile, basically it's like steam cleaning the rocks, and that's where it picks up the smoke. So smoke isn't what Mezcal should be known for. It should be known for the varietal. And if you have the opportunity ever to go to a bar and taste through different varietals, a lot of times for people, the smoke falls away, and you can really start to identify it differently. And if you don't know anything about, Mezcal, it's kind of like I don't know anything about red wine. If I drink a Pinot Noir or a Malbec, they're very different, right? And I can identify the difference by saying these taste different. And if you do it with varietals of Mezcal,
you can say this tastes different than that. You don't have to know the background on each grape.
Exactly. And so when it comes to tequila, tequila comes from one varietal, and it's Blue Weber agave. So all tequila is very linear, and Mezcal there's a whole world of it. I mean, there's 240 varietals of agave, and they use probably 25 in earnest for Mezcal production. Only 2 of those varietals by law are allowed to be cultivated. So everything else is wild forage as well. So imagine going out into the forest and coming upon some grapes and being like, wow, I'm gonna make wine out of this. And then you get what you get, and people are like, wow, that's incredible. What do you call it? And you're like, oh, well, that's Pinot Noir, right? But that's not. It's so. All right. I know we wanted the quick answer, but it's tough because most people think, man, I don't really like mezcal because I'm drinking a smoky tequila. And so for a guy like me, it's like I don't want people to have that impression of mezcal. Mezcal is varietal driven, and the really special thing about mezcal is the variety and how it's made. So
right.
I know that was a quick, short answer.
Well, you know what? I can play it back. I can play it back and get all that extra information from you.
Yeah, you know, and don't sit at my bar unless you want to get really drunk because I'll talk the whole time.
All right, make me a drink, man.
All right, let's get going. So, Mezcal Naran, 2 ounces.
All right. And of course, I've got the Del Magui Vita here, 2 ounces.
Yep, Del Maguey is fantastic. I love that mezcal as well. We're gonna go half ounce of Bruto Americano.
All right. Can I use some Aperol?
Aperol, right? Sure, man. Basically, what we're gonna use an aperitivo. This particular Bruto Americano, I like to think of the Bruto as like the queen of aperitivos. So like it's like the most complex,
I looked for it in my local liquor store, and I couldn't find it at all. So I will try to find some.
Well, St. George, First American Craft Distiller, pretty incredible stuff. Aperol is like a trust fund aperitivo on the beach that has a great tan and a great body. And Bruto Americano is like the Queen of England sitting in the palace, right? So about 90 years old. So very complex, much more rich, much more going on. It's not so easy to digest.
And then we're going to do. That are asking right now why it is that I can use a different liqueur than Casey is. You may remember, or you can go back and check the Behind the Glass episode with Casey from Sunday, where he talks about the different sections of a cocktail and why we can kind of swap these out, right? Sorry to interrupt you. Keep going.
All right, now we're going to go. Oh, you're good. So we got some fresh squeezed lemon juice here. We're going to go 3/4 of an ounce on this.
All right. I'm using some Finest Call lemon juice, if that's all right by you.
I love that stuff, man. That's absolutely fantastic. Then I'm going to do a half ounce. Yeah, do it. A half ounce of the guava.
Whoop.
So I'm using this Guava Real.
Oh, it's the exact same color as what I already have in the glass here.
And then I'm going to add some ice to this bad boy.
Did you put rich syrup in, or did I miss that?
So I just used the Guava Real. So the Guava Real is fantastic because it's a puree syrup hybrid. So this gives me the texture of a 2-to-1 simple syrup, so like a rich simple syrup. So this is going to give me the syrup, and it's also going to give me the sugar that I'm looking for, or the fruit. So let's shake.
Perfect.
Stand by, I forgot one ingredient.
All right, I've just iced down a glass here so it's nice and chilled for when we shake this and strain this out. All right.
You got your sparkling rosé there, buddy?
I got some sparkling for you, buddy. Allison's thrilled because I'm going to pour off an ounce of this, and then what am I going to do with it?
I mean, hopefully Allison's gonna get her buzz on.
Sundays have become a dangerous night for us. Shooting 3 different drink making shows.
I understand. So this is a sparkling rosé, and you know, again, full disclosure, you could probably use any sparkling would be fine. The reason why I'm using instead of using like a prosecco though, I want it to be a bit drier. So this is a pretty dry. This is a brut rosé. Brut typically means something that's a bit more dry. So I wanted to use something a little bit drier.
Beautiful. I've got a Rosada sparkling.
Awesome. What I'm gonna do, Dean, is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add my sparkling into my tin, my mixing tin.
Oh, that's dangerous, isn't it?
I want to do that instead of adding it on top for a couple reasons.
Okay.
First of all, I don't just want to top it up because I want an ounce. I want the recipe to hold true to what I want it to be. So,
So when you top it up, you're afraid that you'll add 3 or 4 ounces to it just to fill the glass, but you want just 1 ounce.
I want just 1 ounce. And so the other thing is that I don't know if you guys have ever made like a mimosa at home or anything like that, but basically what happens is sometimes also when you top up a cocktail, that ends up overflowing because when the bubbles mix in. So I just want everything to mix in the tin. I want to get a proper mix on this. And then something I'm going to do is, I guess I'll add ice to my cocktail glass.
Just getting a fresh Collins here.
Sorry, I saw you had a beautiful coupe there, which typically it would make sense to do something sparkling in a coupe or something like that. For us, we're going to do it into a Collins glass because I want this to be more of a long cocktail. And now I'm going to double strain. Should I wait for you? You shook already. You're good to go.
Yeah, you can go ahead. I'm not going to double strain, but why aren't I double straining? My double strainer is somewhere.
To double straining. What's the matter for you?
These home bar studio things. Gosh. Sometimes they're set, sometimes they're not, but it's still looking pretty darn
Yeah,
good.
you know, I would say, Dean, one of the reasons why I double strain, or the main reason I double strain typically, is because I want to get the ice chips out of the cocktail. So when I shake, it breaks up that ice and it leaves these little chips. And I remember back when I was starting bartending, I used to take so much pride in getting the ice chips on the top of a martini, right? And now that's like it's like pure blasphemy now, right? Because we know the proper technique for making a martini is to stir anything I'm not adding citrus or cream to. I just want to stir that cocktail because I need dilution and I need chilling and mixing, but I don't need it to be vigorous. I can just basically give it a nice stir to give myself, so I can really taste the boost, so I don't want to water it down too much. So now I'm going to garnish this bad boy with the edible flour.
Just got to get that big ice cube out of there. All right, I've just got an orange zest or a lemon zest here, rolled up.
Is that what I said? I might have even sent you that, but I figured I'd change it up.
Yeah, you sent me edible flour. I can't find edible flour anywhere around this town, man. It's tough. There we go. Cheers to the side.
Cheers to you, my friend.
All right. Thank you, sir. Nice long drink.
I love it. It's delicious.
That smoke doesn't come in until much later.
Yeah, I think the mezcal kind of waits around. And so, you know, a little background. So the reason why I use the aperitivo in there is because when I'm making up a cocktail, there's basically 4 components that I want to try to hit. I want booze, I want bitters, and I want acid, and I want sugar. So I can get this bitter component. What it does, it allows me to use a flavor profile like guava, where guava is a very full flavor profile. It's sweet, it's tropical. If I put something in there that's dry or something that's bitter, which is going to dry out my palate, the aperitivo makes your mouth bitter, and then your palate wants for, whether it's food, whether it's you know, a drink, whatever it is. So an aperitivo, that's how it fits into that category, because the dryness of an aperitivo or the bitterness of an aperitivo creates dryness in your mouth, and it prepares your palate for something.
Do you think the dryness of the aperitivo allows us to better taste the mezcal because you're tasting the mezcal kind of after the bitterness? Do you think it's because the tongue dries out and then that flavor comes forward?
I mean, I think you're probably going to get it. That makes sense. And I would say I think that an aperitivo in general is designed to prepare the palate. So yes, I think that would be true. I think that with the mezcal, it's probably gonna come through. And smoke is the component, but again, for me, it's not just about the smoke. But yeah, I mean, I think again, the dryness is what I always want to achieve when making a cocktail is balance. Right? Because if you can make a balanced cocktail, even if it's a shitty cocktail, people will drink it and enjoy it.
So
and we all know
balance for me then. I mean, no, I just interrupted your thought. I'm sorry. We only got a couple minutes left.
No, it's okay.
But we
So
hear the word
if I'm
balance all
defining-
the
if I'm
time.
defining
People throw the
balance-
word balance everywhere. So I'd love to hear your definition of what balance means.
We'll go back to what I just said about talking about booze, bitters, acid, sugar. I want to balance out all those components. And what I want to do is what the bitterness is going to do is going to help to take down the sweetness a little bit, take off the alcohol edge. What the sweetness is going to do is help the acid. The acid is going to do is help the sweetness. So when I think of a balanced cocktail, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a sip of my cocktail.
Right.
And my first impression should be all of it, right? I shouldn't be able to taste just mezcal. I shouldn't be able to taste just citrus. I shouldn't be able to taste just booze. If something is prevalent more than something else in your cocktail, then it's off balance.
Right.
And one of the best examples of an off balance cocktail that I can think of is the margarita.
Okay.
The margarita is supposed to be sour. It has more of a sour effect to it. Exactly. And so that's slightly off balance. So I would if I took a quarter ounce off the lime, if I'm using an ounce of lime, that would balance that cocktail. It wouldn't be a margarita anymore, but it would be a balanced cocktail. So for me, I just want a guest to experience, or, if I'm bartending behind a bar, or if I'm at home making cocktails, whatever, I just want whoever's drinking this cocktail to not have to fight for it, Like you drink it, it just tastes good. And to me, that's balance.
And this does have its own very unique flavor. You can't taste this and go, oh, that tastes like, I don't know, pink lemonade, or it doesn't taste like lime juice.
Right.
It tastes like a very unique flavor that you've created by bringing these flavors together. That's why you get to call it, or rename the drink. You're renaming the flavor that you bring out on the front of the palate, right?
Yeah, and I think what we talked about in the other segment that we did when we're talking about, balancing it, working off of a template, color by numbers, essentially, is that there's certain recipes out there that always balance. A daiquiri always balances. So if you're at home making cocktails and you want to make a balanced cocktail, if you follow these ideas, these sort of traditional ideas or cocktail templates, then you can be more creative with your flavor choices because you're not worried about trying to get the cocktail balanced. So if I work with a template, I'm pretty much always going to be able to make a good, and then I can explore flavor profile. Because if I'm spending just trying to get balance down, meaning that all the components are playing on the same field, then it's more difficult to be creative because I'm spending more time on doing a technical part of the cocktail than just being creative. So I think that following templates is great because, hey, man, it allows you to flex. If you wanted to see what maple syrup tastes like in something, like, throw it into a template that works. You can make a maple daiquiri or a maple sour, and it's going to work every time. It may not taste good, but, at least you're trying.
But at least you can get balance.
Mr. Wallin's Neighborhood, check it out. It's on YouTube. It's on Instagram too. I do basically it's cocktail and spirit education. At the end of the day, I'm building it to be a show that's going to be, Anthony Bourdain for, cocktails and spirits. We're going to be going to distilleries. We're going to be doing education on the distilling process and who these distillers are, what they do in their free time, what they like to cook, what they like to eat, what they like to do for fun, and really trying to bring this story to people. For me, I fell in love with this industry, and I fell in love with spirits and cocktails when I was able to go and get the story. It's a totally different thing when I'm just drinking to imbibe and have a good time. It's so much different when you can see that, the reason why this thing tastes so good is because they made it, and their dad made it, and then their grandpa made it, and their grandpa's grandpa made it, and their grandpa's grandpa's made it.
The brands, right?
Yeah, and then I think that it makes it so much more an enjoyable experience when you're imbibing, when you can have a personal connection to what these people are and understand really that they're just the same as us.
The next time I have you on the show, I want to explore that margarita you talked about, changing a quarter ounce of it, and it's no longer a margarita. But I'd also like to tell you about the Gouda cocktail I had a student make that was made with Gouda cheese. However, it was very balanced. So
how did they make it? Oh, next episode.
Next episode, yeah.
I'm fast.
All right, we're going to wrap up. Casey, this has been a great drink, and it was a nice, fun conversation for us over this cocktail. I've learned a lot from you today. All right.
Love it.
Thank you
Thanks,
so much.
Dean. Thanks for your time, man. Check me out, guys.